Greetings to everyone. This is Siddharth, Department of Civil Engineering from Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. Today we will see about the topic safety meetings. Safety meetings are a cornerstone in fostering the robust safety culture and effective communication within the construction industry. Like any industry in our construction field, we should have safety meetings for our workers on a regular basis. Like if I am a worker in a particular site, if I am going for a work today, I should be aware about the work that is going to be done today, and what kind of work that I am going to do, what kind of equipment I am going to handle today, and what are the safety precautions that I should take when I travel inside my site, and if I am going to handle equipments, how I am going to handle it, and in case of emergency, if there is any accidents like minor or major or very small accident, how I am going to handle it, to whom I should report. Uh, as a worker, I should be fully aware and I should be regularly thought about the things to be done when there is an emergency accident that is happening in the site. So to ensure this, we have safety meetings, right? These meetings serve as an invaluable platform for disseminating crucial safety information. We are going to disseminate the safety informations, like if in case of a scaffolding failure, what should be done, right? Or if any chemicals is spilled in the area, what is the safety precaution that should be taken, right? Including the protocols. If you're having again like any failure, structural member failure, if a column is failing in a particular structure that is under construction, what the worker should do, right? And what are the procedures if I am the one witnessing some failures or some accident, to whom I should report, right? And the best practices to all the persons on site. Like if you are having some best practices, like if you are conducting one regular day-to-day basis safety meetings for your workers, that is one of your best practice. If you are having regular breaks, like 2 hours once, 3 hours once, if you're having regular breaks on a daily basis, that is one good practice, right? By engaging workers in discussion about past incidents, you can engage with your workers by telling them the past experience or past incidents. Like if a fellow is working on high-rise structures, or what are the precautions that should be taken by him, and if he has not taken precautions, and in case of accident happens, what has happened to that fellow, you can bring up that past experience and explain it to your current workers. And near misses, like if you're having all protection equipments for yourself, still there are certain points or certain times where you will be harmed on a very small scale, like minor injuries will happen to you, which is considered to be a near miss, and you can bring up that one. And potential hazards, what are the hazards that are particularly available in your site? Like many kinds of hazards will be in construction site, and the worker should be knowing about that. Then the safety meetings heightens awareness regarding the risk inherent in the task, encouraging greater caution and vigilance. If a worker is very clearly told about the risk that is going to be available in the site during the particular working day, he will be more cautious. If I'm simply entering in the site and if I'm working, I will not be able to differentiate what is risk, what is a normal day, and other things. I won't care about that. But on a daily basis, if someone is coming and telling me in a safety meeting that this is the risk you are going to face in the construction site today, I'll be more careful, right? Because my health is priority for me, so I'll take care of myself more. So that is the main motto of this safety meetings. Moreover, they provide avenue for active participation. All your workers will be participating, and even if some of the fellows are not attentive, or if they are not taking care of these things, there will be people in your meeting who will be able to deliberate what has been taught or what has been done, and they will be able to educate your other workers. So that is the main important part. And enabling workers to voice concerns, share insights, and propose safety enhancements. Like if you have regular safety meetings, there will be certain ideas from your workers, because those people are the real guys who are in the field, who are going to handle equipment, who are going to work in very high rise structures. So they'll have certain ideas and they'll give you certain things, like this can be improved, that can be improved, this is the what we want in our site. The this equipment is failing, and if I'm using one equipment, if that is failing, I can give some inputs, like the equipment can be made better. So that kind of insights or ideas will be shared by everyone. So you can have a more proper safety enhancement. Like a proper safety meetings is one thing, proper safety enhancements can be done by your workers alone, right? And thereby nurturing a sense of ownership and accountability for safety outcomes among the employees. So your employees will be more accountable to your safety things. Like they'll take care of other employees, they'll take care of themselves, they'll take care of equipment, so that the overall safety of your site will increase. Then the last point is It only not facilitate knowledge dissemination, but also continuous learning and skill development among workers, right? If this meeting is done on a very day-to-day basis, there will be certain workers who will take up the explanation, or who will give a better explanation about the threats and hazards that are present in the site on a day-to-day basis to other workers. So this in turn will increase the leadership quality among your workers, and there will be certain workers who will be very interested in safety aspect alone, and they will be more of indulging in safety related issues rather than in going for a normal layman job. Like in this slide, we will discuss about what are the things that can be achieved through this safety meetings. The following points will be achieved if you are having a regular day-to-day basis on an safety meeting for your construction site. Like knowledge dissemination, as we already discussed, every worker will have a different aspect in doing their works. Like if I am new to the site, I may not be very properly working, or I may be an inexperienced fellow, and I need certain guidance in certain areas. So a guy who is already experienced in that particular work can come up with certain tips for me in the safety meeting. So it will be very useful for me, and the knowledge is disseminated to all the workers. You cannot have a set of workers for a set of work. Instead, you can have all workers working on all parts of your site. Then the second one is your risk awareness. Every worker will have the knowledge about risk where he is particularly working. Like an experienced worker will know what are the potential hazards, or what are the risk that is involved in doing his particular work. So if he is able to share that to the new workers or to his co-workers, this in turn will increase the group risk awareness. Then the second one is employee engagement. Every employee will be getting engaged in the work for a longer period of time, right? They won't be simply ideally wasting their time. If I am knowing what work I am going to do and how I am going to do without any risk to me, without any hazard to me, I'll work on a very good efficient manner. Then the second one on the sorry, and the fourth one is your behavioral change, right? You will have a better state of mind if you know there are no hazards, or there are no risk involved in your working in a construction site. So the mind of your workers will be very free, and they will have a very emotional balance in while working in the site, and it in turns brings a behavioral change to the group in your construction site. Then the cultural integration, right? Through the safety meetings, there can be certain ideas where if you are able to share the cultural integration parts, like if you have many number of workers from many number of areas, the linguistic nature will be very varying, and you can have as many as languages, so that the language can be learned by everyone, right? You don't have a single language in your construction site. You can have many number of languages, and all workers will be able to talk or understand or read or write all kind of languages. So that brings a cultural integration. Then communication enhancement, right? You can enhance your communication of your workers through the safety meeting. Like if I am a worker if I am a worker working in a site, and if I have certain points to be addressed, I can freely express those points in my safety meeting, and I hope if I tell a thing in safety meeting, it will be corrected. So that kind of confidence will be with me, and that is your communication enhancement. Then regulatory compliance, like you have certain rules to be followed for your workers when you're having construction site. You have factories act, many kinds of acts are there for your people. So you can have the regulatory compliance, like you can follow every rules that are employed to you by your government, so that your working condition will be better. Then training and education, the most important part is this training and education, where you can have safety trainings for your workers. Due to that particular safety training work, the workers will be able to understand safety on a very larger scale. And the education, like if I'm properly educated about the equipments I'm going to handle, or what kind of work I'm going to do, then that will definitely increase the accident ratios. That is, accidents will be reduced. Then risk identification and mitigation. If a particular work is having too much of problems, like if you're going for work, definitely someone is going to be injured every time that work is being carried out. So that kind of work can be mitigated, and the risk can be identified on a very larger scale, like risk from very minute, small, major, medium, large, or very risk. This kind of differentiation can be done. The last part is empowerment and engagement. If you know all the things we have discussed already, then the empowerment of your laborers can be easily done, and they can have an engaged work. Like if but again, if you are talking about a worker's mindset, if I am entering into the site today, and if I am knowing what work I am going to do, how I am going to do, what are the risks that is being associated, and if there is any kind of problem or hazard, to whom I should report, or what is the first aid activity that should be done, how to safeguard myself from any kind of potential hazards or accidents. If I know all these things, I'll be engaging in my work, and the state of mind of your workers will be very good. Here in this slide, we will talk about the systematic way to identify hazards and control risks with while maintaining assurance that these risk controls are effective and safety management during the construction phases covers. Like if you are able to follow these things, you are almost your safety part is over. That is the clear meaning of it. First one is identifying workplace risk when planning work and implementing appropriate control to avoid personal injury and property damage. You have to identify your workplace risk. What is the risk involved in your workplace? How I am going to tackle that risk? Like how when going for work or implementing controls, how can I avoid personal injury or property damage? If I have a clear study about these areas, then it is very well for my workers. Then the second point is monitoring of work to provide early detection and correction of unsafe practices and conditions. You have to monitor your work on a daily basis. Like it might be a very small thing, like if you are talking about centering, people might be using nails, right? Those nails will be spread across the your flooring on your construction site, and if your workers are not wearing safety shoes, that is a very big issue there. So you should take care of very small detailed items on a very larger scale, so that the risk associated is very very minimal. If a worker is being stamped by a nail, it is not a very big deal, right? It is not a very life threatening situation, but still that can be avoided, that risk can be avoided. That is the main point here. Then implementation of effective communication across all levels of organization. This gives a better effective communication across all levels. Like if you are talking about project manager, general manager, everyone should be present during the safety meetings. And if a worker, that is an layman worker, is telling some issues, so it will not be end up with your site engineers or your senior engineer. No, it will be going up to the higher hierarchical order, so that those people can take some actions and it will be done. Protecting the adjacent public and private properties. So caring for ourselves during this accidents is one thing, and caring for people who are around the site is another big area. If you are having residential buildings around your construction site, then you should take care of them too. So you should protect the adjacent public and private properties. Then next one is providing safety education and incentive programs. Safety education is another part, like where we have talked about training programs. If you have safety training programs for your workers, that is good. And incentive programs, if a worker is continuously following all kind of safety precautions for a particular month, give him some incentive, like working for extra hours. This is one kind of way to encourage safety is being implemented in your site. Then complying with the occupational health and safety rules, right? You have OSHA. There are the different organizations to ensure that safety is being practiced in your construction site. So you can have a compliance with all kind of guidelines and other IS recommendations, code books. Everything can be very seriously followed in your site, so that it is very good for your company.